Capricorn 1. An Indian chief demanding recognition. There are times when democracy is quite a good idea, and other methods by which we work out who's the boss. Yeah, we can try them in certain times, but there are other times when it's non-negotiable. When you're on a ship at sea and there's a storm coming, you don't want two people discussing the best strategy, you want a captain. When war is coming, you don't want a committee working out the best course of action, not in the emergency period. You want a general. You want one single leader to make a decision. That's because decision making is a process that takes too long when more than one person's involved for emergencies. And Capricorn 1 discusses the fact that the Indian chief claims that power. And he claims that power and reaffirms that power by demanding recognition. To claim power is all very well and good, but unless you can demand recognition, then that power is untested. And if it's untested, it's not real. It's just in the imagination of the power possessor. This is a very controversial idea, indeed, nowadays. And yet those of us who do have some power know that we were not given it. It was necessary to claim it, and to assert that claim and to test that claim by demanding recognition. So this process will speak to people who have planets in Capricorn 1, and they're going to understand that there are times when you need to make your claim, and this will not be an act of popularity. This is not what makes you popular. This is what carves out a position for you separate from everyone else. Everyone else. Maybe you have supporters, but more or less everyone else. You have to win your position if you want to have power. Now, typically you will not be able to do that unless your sense of inner integrity is strong. The claiming action must be backed up by a sense of confidence. It is the self-confidence that registers the power. Without that confidence in self and confidence in the time to strike, it can't be done. Now that inner authority, that inner integrity, depends upon being true to a set of values. And these values are shared by those over whom you claim your power. If that is not the case, then it's usurping. It's a false claim. It's bullying. So there's a very subtle line here between those who are bullies and claim power over people that really don't want them and can't kick them out. That's not what we're talking about here. What we're talking about here is somebody whose values are the best example of the community values. The exemplar of the community is the only real one who has the legitimate moral authority to claim the power. However, the decision about who that person is belongs in the hands of the power possessor, himself or herself. Usually it's a him. This is a masculine type of behavior. Even if it's a woman, it's enacted in a masculine way, by force. And that force comes from making a decision that your set of values are true, you're up to the mark with them, you have the integrity of belief in yourself and belief in your values, and a knowledge that the values that you hold are the best for the community. And then that decision to act is the decision to claim power. The expression of personality is inevitable. We don't have very many power possessors in the world who do not take advantage of their position to to bend the rules so that they can actually have it their way. That's par for the course. That's how it works. So the narcissist in power at the moment is somebody who's the underlined great actor who knows how to get what he wants when in a position of power. And it's badly done. It is not in alignment with the group which he represents. He thinks that his voters are his group, whereas actually he's taken a position for the whole country. And his narcissism is not appropriate. For the whole country should have values that he can represent. So if a leader cannot represent the whole community that he chooses to lead, then it's a bullying. It's not appropriate. It's false. You have to take on the values of the followers that are sort of keeping you in power. And they have to align with your own values, or it's inauthentic. Another degeneration of this principle of power is when the operation of it is degenerate. If it's a viciousness, if you say, oh, you must do this and you must do that and you must do the other, when these things are unnecessary, that's a degeneration of the operation of power. So it has to be appropriate power, appropriately operated, appropriately claimed for it to be a spiritual expression. And that's one of the most difficult things that there is going. It is very hard to stay true to your spiritual understandings when you're a man of power. Some people in history have done it remarkably well, and we recognize them for it. But some of them they pay the price for that. John F. Kennedy might be an example, or Mahatma Gandhi, Jesus Christ, other people who've been very powerful and authentic, and yet were pulled down. It's a tricky job. It's a tricky job to get right. When you've claimed your power, though, you have to reassert it repeatedly. And you do this by claiming recognition. That's what Capricorn 1 is all about. It's that when you know how to claim power, to cement it in place, you have to demand recognition. This has been done throughout history. The Vikings would demand Dane gold from England as a tax, as it were, and the mafia would do the same thing. They would demand a tax from people in their area over which they held power, just to sort of make sure everybody knows in charge. And the reason why it's important is that if somebody doesn't want to pay you their recognition, then there's rebellion in the air. So the leader wants to put that down before it becomes a real threat to his power. Now, there's no moral questions discussed here, apart from the fact that you have to align your values with the group of people over whom you're in charge. Apart from that, it's simply, if you can take power, then take it, and demand recognition to hold it in place.